Premier League this weekend, but the English FA Cup promises to give us a lot of interesting matchups. And first and foremost, when they say revenge is best served hot, I think this is what we are talking about. Because on Tuesday, Liverpool suffered a very unexpected defeat at the Molineux in the hands of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Well, guess who Liverpool plays again on Friday, this time in the FA Cup? Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Molineux. Man, lightning cannot strike twice in the same place, right?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope these moments.
I mean, I'm sure Wolverhampton Wanderers will have said, like, there's no need for us to miss again, at least not this season.
I want to believe when Wolves won't have the dub against Liverpool.
I mean, that would be damning. For slot. But what do we expect from that game? Wolverhampton Wanderers again in the same stadium, against the same team. Only a different tournament.
Personally, I feel Wolves will be feeling okay, fine. We did it on Tuesday. Of course, we can still do it on
You think Wolves will come into that game with some level of confidence?
Confidence, but they will still give Liverpool respect because they know of the quality Liverpool has. But Liverpool, this time, they will see it as a revenge, of course. They will see it as a revenge because it was this particular team that sent them down. So this time they will
deny them a possible top place.
Yes, top four. They will prepare for it like it's a game they have to win a cup. So.
But here's the problem. On the norms, if things did not go the way they did on Tuesday, this was supposed to be the game where Slot will make some changes, drop Alisson Becker, bring in Mamadashvili, make some changes, bring in Curtis Jones, maybe drop Cody Gakpo, start Gauma, and all that, just mix up a little bit. But then with the kind of stuff that happened on Tuesday, it feels like it's condemned to probably use the best team again or something like that.
Well, with Slot, you can never know actually, because if you look at I think earlier in the season in the Carabao Cup, where they played Newcastle, they played Crystal Palace. I think they had earlier played Crystal Palace in the league, and they played Crystal Palace again in the Carabao Cup, and decided to use a different set of players entirely, and he lost the match scandalously. So for Slot, you can't know, but then I think he knows that this might be his last opportunity to actually win something, to salvage the season with Liverpool this season actually. Because if you look at it, it looks like when it comes to the fight for Champions League, they kind of bought it already, and they need something to actually.
Both Manchester United, Aston Villa, and Chelsea are not looking like insurmountable opponents right now when it comes to Champions League.
But then if you look at the way they are playing, it doesn't look like they themselves look like a team that are serious and they want to actually move into the top four. So right now, this might just be his opportunity to actually win something. Let's not forget.
But this doesn't guarantee me Champions League place. At best, guarantee me a place in the Europa League. So shouldn't he prioritize returning to the Champions League over an FA Cup that at best gives him a place in the Europa League?
He might want to prioritize returning back to the Champions League because there's this report that if they don't make a Champions League, they are going to lose 120 million euros.
I mean, they spent a lot of money last season.
So even though they said it still won't affect them, but then they are still going to lose 120. So it just feels like he might want to prioritize making it into the top four. But then also on the scale of winning something this season, this might just be his last opportunity apart from the Champions League.
Well, from the angle of Wolverhampton, let me ask you, like, how much changes are you expecting him to make? Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
Like you said earlier, we can't really say what Slot is going to do. Sometimes it's just unpredictable. We expect him to put in some few good legs in this game, considering, like you said earlier, this is the last hope of him winning any silverware this season. And again, we'll be looking at coming back to the top four. But if you can get one silverware and maybe win the FA Cup, it will be a plus for him. And let's not forget that this is the same coach that has been that at a point even Liverpool fans were shouting for his sack. So if he can go all the way and win the FA Cup, I think the story is going to change. So I expect him to have a mix, put in some few first 11 players and mix things up and still have a very good very, very good bench to come in case things are not going the way you want.
Definitely. And let's move to another fixture that promises to capture our attention this weekend. Newcastle United did it on Wednesday against one Manchester team at the St. James's Park. Well, another Manchester team at the same St. James's Park awaits them, this weekend. This time, Manchester City. Manchester City also didn't cover themselves in so much glory during the week. Can they do a double against the Manchester teams?
Personally, I don't know what to expect from Newcastle, considering the level of energy they used against Manchester United. When Newcastle plays at home, they play like it's their hand. They use the fans, they win every ball.
It almost feels like it's a Champions League final.
They fight for every ball. They use, and they have physicality. Looking at their midfield, they have so many physicality. They have so many players that can run away with the ball, and they win they try to win every of the second ball. But now, with the level of energy they used against United,
don't know what's left in the tank.
Will they be able to replicate that same energy against Manchester City? Because we know their style of football is based on tenacity and physicality. So, will they be able to do it against Manchester City? I'm not sure. It's possible they do it, but Manchester City too will be able to come to their stadium and at least get the 3 points.
Okay. Concerning Manchester City, we saw that disappointing draw against Nottingham Forest. And we know Pep. On the norms, he most likely will drop players. So what kind of lineup are we expecting from him against Newcastle United on Saturday? James Trafford in goal for Donnarumma, what kind of changes are we expecting him to bring to his side? Maybe Nicolas Gonzalez in for Rodri. I mean, what kind of changes are we looking for? Also realizing the fact that, realistically, the FA Cup may be the only trophy that he also gets to fight for. He meets Arsenal in the final of the Carabao Cup. Arsenal right now is a better team than he is. He meets Real Madrid in the round of 16 of the Champions League. Well, Real Madrid is the Champions League maestro. So any team you meet again in the anytime you face Real Madrid in the Champions League, you are the underdog. In the title race, it's looking like that's gone now.
Arsenal.
So it's looking like realistically, and Pep Guardiola may likely step down at the end of this season. So it's looking like if he's to step down on a little high, I mean, he cannot definitely step down on a high of winning the English Premier League or a treble like a couple of seasons ago. But at least if he's to step out on a little high, the FA Cup looks like its best chance of having that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Pep Guardiola, I think this is an opponent he has faced 3 times already this season. I think he has won all 3, if I'm not mistaken. So I just feel
double
in the Carabao
Cup and then the Premier League.
So it looks like this is an opponent that he knows very well. So he feels like, okay, but then that St. James's Park, they are riding on the fact that they just defeated another team in Manchester. So I don't feel he will want to be cautious a little bit. And then you still want to drop players as well.
So how much changes are we looking at him bringing on this team?
I think it might make minimal changes. We can't. I don't think we'll be seeing a first 11 change. No, we won't be seeing that. We'll just be seeing, let's say, 3-4 players coming into the side. So we might not be seeing a whole 11. No, I don't think Pep Guardiola
will see that. 7-8 changes like we usually see.
I don't think he wants to do that. I just feel he wants to give other players opportunity, but at the same time still retain control of the game.
Okay, and quickly, let's talk about Chelsea. Well, away from home to Wrexham, I mean, I saw a video of the co-owner of Wrexham, Ryan Reynolds, when the draws was being made, and he was so elated that his team was going to be hosting Chelsea, because I think since they took over the club, I think that's the biggest game they have had to host in that stadium. They are having a brilliant run right now in the championship. They're in the playoffs. They are looking like there is a real chance that they could get promoted into the Premier League this season. Next season, they've got a really good team. They've got a former Arsenal goalkeeper for Koronko, keeping clean. He has had 10 clean sheets this season. So what kind of opposition, what kind of game would Chelsea be expecting against Wrexham on Saturday?
Well, I'm expecting Chelsea to go there, and it's not going to be a very good atmosphere for Chelsea, because when you are going to, one of the problems we have as Chelsea is we get intimidated easily when we go to these small grounds
Mm,
because, and this problem starts from the team conceding first.
mm.
And let's not forget they'll be playing on their pitch and they have their fans behind them. And this is still a Chelsea team that is very, very vulnerable defensively. And what I expect them to do is throw balls into our box.
Mm.
Try to maximize every opportunity. Set piece, long balls. That is what every small teams have been doing against Chelsea. And few have succeeded. So I'm expecting them to give Chelsea a very tough game. But I see we can just make use of our quality and be in charge of the game. I think we will win.
Fahad, and this is the problem of cup games. For Wrexham, they are playing the games of their life. They are playing the game of that some of the players believe that they will be remembered for generations to come. For
And
Chelsea, it's just
just the game.
it's just an FA Cup game against a lower league side. So the approach is different. Could that lead to a bit of an offset? Maybe. I mean, these are the things that causes offset. In cup games. This is the stuff that Manchester United and what's the name of that team?
Yes,
Grimsby.
Grimsby are made because Grimsby were playing the games of their life.
yes.
While Manchester United just came in like, oh, it's Grimsby now. Okay,
Always beat them.
let's use Onana. Let's start our second team, and we should be able to get this over with.
Well, if you look at for exam, I just feel one thing will be ringing at the back of their mind is that they are facing a Chelsea side that are very very good, and I think for Chelsea, for Liam Rosno, I don't feel you might not want to start João Pedro.
Maybe Liam
You might
Delap,
want to start Liam Delap
maybe
Delap.
Gittins.
or Gittins. But then if you look at it, this is the Wrexham side that are riding on the high right now. They are looking to actually come into the Premier League, and they'll be facing a side in Chelsea that just defeated Aston Villa 4-1. It feels like they
High
are
in
kind of
confidence.
getting their mojo back, and Chelsea would not want to leave anything to chance against Wrexham. So I just feel Liam Rosner would want to end the game as early as possible against Wrexham side.
Mm.
So that's what I feel. You might want to end the game as early
As early as possible. Okay, and of course, well, Arsenal, the team that it feels like they can do no wrong right about now. Lucky in every stand, they take on Mansfield, away from home to Mansfield. Bro, Arsenal, come on. I mean, the likes of Kepa, Mosquera, and Campe, practically the second team.
But this Marcus
Gabriel Martinelli,
this Marcus Field
Christian Norgard.
so they should kind of be a little bit.
But come on, it's Arsenal.
I mean, anything can happen. It's a game of football.
And Omar Breke, they are the ones that should take care of this.
It's a game of football. Anything can happen. So
Okay.
they should be careful.
And of course, well, not that it matters anyway, because the way the Italian Serie A is right now. Well, but then it's the Milan derby this weekend. AC Milan against Inter Milan. Even though the fate of those two teams are far from each other, while Inter Milan are 10 points ahead on the table, AC Milan are just somewhere in there hanging on. But then it's still a derby. And you know what they say? When it's a derby, form is thrown out the window.
Yeah, definitely form is thrown out of the window. And I think for Christian Kivu, I think this
And even though they both use the same stadium, it's AC Milan at home.
Yeah, definitely they want to focus on the Italian Serie A right now because they are out of the UEFA Champions League, and this is like their best bet of winning something. They are 10 points ahead of their rivals AC Milan. Nothing is better than
It's still first and second after all.
So for Christian Kivu, I just feel there's no Lautaro Martinez, so you might want to stick with Pio Esposito and Marcus Ram up front. And we also saw that Pio Esposito and Marcus Ram didn't really do much against Bodo Glimt. So he just feels okay. Let's start Boni up front and Marcus Ram as well. But I still don't see him starting Boni and Marcus Ram. I just feel start Esposito and Ram. But for AC Milan, it's they're on unbeaten run at one point. Then I think they lost the 2 games ago. They lost their last game. They lost the game. So right now, it just looks like for AC Milan, they need to start winning games. They have so many draws, and they need to start winning games. I just feel against Inter Milan, what better team to do it against your rivals, your fiercest rivals in Inter Milan?
Could it spark a resurgence in AC Milan's title result? It's over. I mean, It's 67-57 right now. If AC Milan wins, it could be 67-60, which means 7 points. 7 points.
No, I think it's now we're going into the with the mindset of
It will be 7 points with 10 games to go.
yes, but considering the quality AC Milan has, they have quality. So you expect them to be
Luka Modric,
yeah,
Adrian Rabiot,
yes,
Christian Pulisic,
yes,
Rafael Leao.
yes.
They've got some really
They have
interesting
very
players.
some very interesting players and they have experience too with Luka Modric sitting deep and dictating the play. I think they'll be optimistic in this game and feel they can go into the game and get the all 3 points. And looking at Inter Milan, fine, they are at the top of the table,
But they
but
have not been at their best.
they
in recent
haven't really
times.
been at their best. I think the last game they played against Como, they even drew. Like it was
That was-
Coppa Italia. Yeah,
it was- they drew against Como.
So they have not won.
It doesn't feel like they've been unstoppable in the league. And looking at the quality AC Milan, I think they can get one ahead of it.
Okay, well, let's quickly predict the results of some of those games. Starting with Liverpool against Wolves. We call it the revenge mission. So how does that end?
I'm going with the Liverpool 2-0 win.
Wolves does the
I'm
second.
going to go for a Liverpool 3-0 win.
So
Yes.
proper revenge.
Yes,
You know.
proper revenge.
So that 2-0, by the time put it on aggregate,
So,
Liverpool will still.
Liverpool will still win.
Okay, Newcastle United, Manchester City.
Manchester City. I think Manchester City will win this one. I'm going for a Manchester City 2-0 lead.
So a fourth win for Manchester City against Newcastle. That's
Yeah.
what we call customer dada. What about you?
I'm going with a 3-1 win for Manchester City.
Wow, so Manchester City wins and Chelsea Wrexham.
I'll go for a slim win for Chelsea. A 3-2.
Yeah, Wrexham scores a lot of goals, and I think a high scoring. Yeah, you
I'll go with a 3-0 win for Chelsea.
really clean sheet
You're not
for.
that convincing.
So wait, let me even ask now. So is it gonna be Robert Sanchez back in goal, or Jorgensen continues?
I think we put Sanchez since the FA Cup. You might want to put Sanchez.
Sanchez back in, so he's
Yes,
not.
yes, Sanchez should be back in.
Okay, all right. There you go. These are and of course the Milan derby.
The Milan derby, I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
I'm going for a 2-1 win for Inter Milan.
So I went for Inter Milan. That will extend their lead to 13 points. Practically just give them the title. 10 games to go, and that's our preview for the weekend. I mean, it's going to be an interesting one. So look out for those games, and remember, let us know what you think in our comment section. Follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel.